no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Should the Raiders sign Dwayne Haskins? We got a lot of news and rumors surrounding the Las Vegas Raiders. Mitch going to break it down in just a second. Type S for sign, type P for pass. The Washington football team has released Haskins. Mitch, could the Raiders go after him?
Oh, boy. This is a question that has been in my DMs for just way too long. I mean, as soon as the Washington football team decided to move on from Haskins, everyone's bringing up old reports, which, you know what, that's totally fine. So the first one that somebody brought up to me was back in 2019, the Raiders were super impressed by Haskins and what he was able to do at Ohio State. Okay, that's fine. Then a lot of people were like, you know what, Mitch? Mayock had him as his second best quarterback in 2019. Okay, fair enough. And then the Raiders held a private workout for Dwayne during the pre-draft process. My answer to all of these responses that I've gotten on Instagram, Twitter, that I've seen just all over the internet, the Raiders and everyone else was super impressed with Dwayne Haskins. Mike Mayock and a lot of other people had him as their second best quarterback. And guess what? You're allowed to have 30 workouts. I would hope you would have a workout for a quarterback.
Yeah, and I think the problem here is, going back in time saying, man, I really felt really good about him coming out after the 2018 season for the 2019 draft is, I don't know how much of that you can actually apply if you're a team looking to bring him in, because he has shown in the NFL that the work ethic isn't that strong and the level of play, Mitch, not that impressive. So I don't know how much you can really go back at his college tape and how he, interviewed and all that stuff and really apply it to this situation, Mitch, because he hasn't been a professional. That's just the reality of the situation. And he even acknowledged that on Twitter after he was released by saying, my time's come to an end. And he said, I fully take responsibility for not meeting the standards of being a starting quarterback. Sure, it's nice he's acknowledging that, but how bad of a look is that for a guy less than 2 years into the NFL saying, yeah, I didn't do the little things you have to do to stay in the National Football League? He is the only quarterback, Mitch, to get cut as a first-round pick at a quarterback position since 2000, before year 3. The only one. It's happened to no other quarterback since 2000.
I mean, it has not been good. When you really think about Washington, they need to win this week. They might not have a starting quarterback. Like, if Alex Smith doesn't end up playing, they're like, that's okay. We'd rather not have him than have him on the team. That's how big of a cancer he's been. So I saw this quote from Mike Mayock, and I wanted to be able to bring it up because this is, again, some of these arguments that I see some people amongst Raider Nation that's bringing up in terms of could the Raiders actually be interested in going out and signing Dwayne Haskins, who was released on Monday by the Washington football team. Here's the quote. He threw really well. I thought he put on a show. I thought his receivers put on a show. That's typical for Ohio State. They did a great job. The amount of people that have put this tweet or put this quote out there on social media, it makes me laugh a little bit because realistically, Mike Mayock doesn't say anything in this. Does he say he did a great job? Sure. Does that mean that he loves Dwayne Haskins? No. But if you're a quarterback, you should be able to do really well at your own pro day.
Also, someone taught me this a long time ago. What's true today may not be true tomorrow.
Yes.
That's an old quote. Like, we've seen Dwayne Haskins since then. It has not been very impressive for the NFL quarterback who is now a free agent. Now, at the age of 23, I think he'll get another chance, but if I'm the Raiders, and I'll let you decide because you're the host of this show, should the Raiders sign Dwayne Haskins? If it's me, I'm typing my P for pass.
So Harrison's going to type his P for pass. I'm actually going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if you guys come across this on our Las Vegas Raiders channel, please go ahead and down in the comment section and let us know. Should the Raiders sign Haskins, type S for sign, or I want you to type P for pass. If you're the Raiders, you stay as far away from Dwayne Haskins as possible. Not only because he hasn't been able to show anything on the football field, you have a young 23-year-old boy. And yes, I am not afraid to call Dwayne Haskins a boy because that's what he has shown.
It's not mature.
He was named the captain of his football team, and they took the C off his jersey for not the play on the field, but what he was doing on the sidelines, for what he was doing in the locker room, for what he was doing off the field. And you have a guy who's going to strip clubs, or, sorry, it wasn't actually a strip club. It was a private event with strippers. Strip club.
Big difference.
And, I mean, during this COVID era where you have a team right now that is in the running for a playoff berth. And on top of all of that, he has been horrible, Harrison. Look at the numbers.
And you mentioned the thing with the strip club deal. He put his entire team in jeopardy before the biggest game of the season. You win that game, you're in the playoffs. Luckily, he was cleared, but we know the NFL COVID protocols. They're not messing around. Like, imagine if he wasn't ready to go. Like, that's a big problem, and I think it's why they've cut him. That, and obviously the on-field production has not been good. But to move on from him a week before, week 7, like before your final game,
That's
when
how bad they wanted to
you
get
don't
rid of
even
him.
know if Alex Smith is going to be healthy, that speaks volumes for me when it comes to Dwayne Haskins. And that's why when it comes to the Raiders or any other team for that matter, they're going to take a hard look at this before they just commit to bringing this guy on board.
So let's hear it. Go down in the comments. I want you to grade Dwayne Haskins as a quarterback. So from a scale from 0 to 100. I know a lot of y'all out there playing Madden. Unfortunately, I don't play Madden. How much do you play Madden?
Not much, but based on their ratings, like he's about a backup caliber. I mean, 71? I mean, he's not that good.
I put him in the 60s, and
Yeah.
he's not going to be 69 because he's not very nice to me. But this move honestly reminds me a lot of when the Ravens decided to move on from Earl Thomas. Was it a surprise? Yes, absolutely. But they wanted him off the team so bad that they were willing to do whatever it took to get him off,
Yep.
even though they were in this, kind of running for a playoff or a Super Bowl. So let us know down there in the comments. Grade Dwayne Haskins as a quarterback, scale from 0 to 100.
Now, NFL fans, we got a ton of gear on sale for you guys, including these jerseys at chatsports.com/jersey deal. You Dolphins fans can get this 201. If you're a Raiders fan, take advantage of this Josh Jacobs jersey and a whole lot more. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Mitch, I know you were doing some digging with our partner Fanatics, looking for the best deals. Tons of these jerseys, all of them are under $80. Some of them as low as like $40 and $50.
So I saw Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr. jersey for $49.99. Again, that's at chatsports.com/jersey deal. That link will be available for you all in the description. And, down in the comments, there's also some other jerseys of some older players. I'm just going to not mention the names, but you can get an NFL jersey for $8.99. All I'm saying is this, if you got a kid and you need a jersey, you can pay $8, get a jersey, and rip the name off the back. You can figure out a way.
Or you can be the guy that goes to the party when we're allowed to do that again, of course, with the most random jersey there. It's always a great look. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Go check that link out and get yourself a jersey today.
So the Raiders quarterback depth chart. The other reason why you're not going to go out and do this, is he better than Derek Carr? Absolutely not.
No.
Is he better than Marcus Mariota?
Nope.
I don't think so. And Nathan Peterman, you know what? I'll at least give Nathan Peterman this. He's going to show up every single week. He's going to put in his work, and you've seen a lot of other players. I've actually talked to Raiders players that said Nathan Peterman is one of the smartest football guys, and that's why Gruden likes him, and he also helps out a ton in preparation for the weeks.
Yeah, that's more valuable from your third-string quarterback than a guy that just went in the first round. If you're a team, you don't bring in Dwayne Haskins to be your third guy. Your third guy is a guy who, hey, can this guy communicate with the starter on the sidelines? Watch the, they have the tablets. The Bears do this with Tyler Bray. They value him because he's good at communicating with the starting quarterback, with the head coach. That's not Dwayne Haskins. That's not why you would bring him on board. So I'm with you. I don't think it makes a ton of sense for the Raiders.
I think the bigger issue that some of you might be seeing, and I know everyone's been talking about it on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, who's going to be the quarterback one, at least going into the final week of the season? I mean, it's been Derek Carr the entire season. Mariota had one good run. Jon Gruden spoke about that today. Derek will start and finish the season just like we anticipated he would. Whether Marcus has a role in this, we'll wait and see. Which I like the fact that Gruden kind of leaves it on a cliffhanger, because if I'm Gruden, I'm going up against a division rival. Sure, if you lose, it probably actually helps you out more in the long term. If the draft were to start today, the Raiders would have the 16th overall pick. But you want the Broncos to be playing for two quarterbacks, Mariota or Derek Carr. So, Harrison, I'll let you answer, and I want the entire audience to answer as well. Who should start against the Broncos? If you think it should be Marcus Mariota, I want you to type MM. If you think it should be Derek Carr, DC, where do you lean on this one?
I would play Mariota, but I would have played him last week, so I don't really know what one start is really going to get you. I'll say this: if you're hell bent on going 8-8, if you think that's important as a franchise to take it, technically improve from last year on your record, then it's probably Derek Carr. I mean, he's your starter. I think he's done enough this year to be your starter next year. But I would have gone Mariota last week. Obviously, they didn't do that. But Carr's been good this year. I think he's improved. I think he's your guy going into next year. I know there's going to be rumors flying all offseason around Las Vegas, but I guess it's DC, but
I think
either option is a fine option.
I think Carr had a great game, honestly, against one of the best defenses in the Miami
At
Dolphins.
far less than 100%.
Yeah, and far less than 100%. And if you're trying to win the game, you put your best quarterback out there. That is Derek Carr. But if you're trying to evaluate on what you have in terms of Marcus Mariota, and if you're going to pay him in the offseason, or if you're trying to raise his trade value, then I think that you play Marcus Mariota.
Yep.
And for me, this season's lost. I don't care if they go 7-9 or 8-8. I really don't. You can make the argument that going 7-9 honestly helps you more because you get a better draft pick. But I'm looking for the future. I'm looking for how is this team going to get better in the long haul, and I think that it is honestly by starting Marcus Mariota this upcoming game, because then if you don't like what you got, you save $10 million. You don't pay him because it doesn't cost anything.
Yep.
If he plays well, guess what? Then you can at least consider the fact of, maybe we keep this guy, and if he plays well, guess what? You can also just trade him then.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of different options here. I will always say that Carr is a better quarterback than Marcus Mariota, but in terms of this game and this game only, hey, man, I'm saying roll with MM.
Quick news, Mitch, coming in before we slip out of this Raiders cut. Clelin Ferrell likely out for Week 17.
Yeah, this one's probably a bigger loss, but it's not too much of a shock to anybody that's really been following the Raiders. And if you guys have been checking out the show, please continue to do so. We just crossed 70,000 subscribers on our Raiders Report channel. If you haven't subbed yet, go ahead, hit that big red button, or you can see the link down below, youtube.com/Raiders Report, where we're keeping you guys updated on the latest news and rumors. And I'll be live tomorrow on the Raiders Report channel, Tuesdays, always Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific.